We are ranking the 12 drugstore makeup brands mature women should approach with caution, revealing which formulas can make fine lines, dryness, or texture look dramatically worse. From powders that crack within hours to pigments that magnify every pore, each entry exposes a common trap that ages the skin fast. And do not miss the 3 drugstore alternatives that truly flatter mature complexions. Let us begin with number 12. Milani's baked blushes and bronzers look like jewels in the pan, swirled domes packed with pigment and a glimmering sheen. But on mature skin, that beauty can turn into trouble fast. The bake technique fuses talc and mica under heat, locking in dense color and shimmer particles. One swipe deposits a bold flush. But the strong payoff means mistakes show up instantly, especially on cheeks with texture or fine lines. Instead of diffusing light for a soft focus effect, the shimmer can pool in every tiny fold, catching the light and making pores and creases more obvious. On younger, smooth skin, this creates a radiant glow. But for drier, thinner skin, the result is often patchy, harsh, and visually aging. The formula's intensity leaves little room for blending or subtlety, and once it's on, it's hard to walk back. A feather-light touch and a fluffy brush can help for some, but the risk of emphasizing texture is always there. Milani's baked blushes are beloved for their color stories, but for mature complexions, the payoff is often more drama than glow. E.L.F's Poreless Putty Primer exploded in popularity for its promise to smooth pores and grip foundation like a high-end dupe. The reality for mature skin is more complicated. The formula relies on dimethicone and other silicones to create a velvety film over the face. Spread too thickly, that layer does not just blur, it fills every groove, then starts to pill and roll as the day goes on. Dimethicone can be a double-edged sword for textured, drier skin. For women with deep smile lines or crow's feet, the primer can collect in those creases, breaking apart with every expression. Instead of diffusing texture, it often highlights texture, especially when topped with foundation or powder. The result is midday clumps, dry patches, and makeup that lifts off in flakes around the mouth and eyes. Some makeup artists recommend using a tiny amount only on the T-zone, or skipping it altogether for drier, lined skin. The viral magic of a putty primer turns into a technical challenge for anyone over 45, demanding a light hand and frequent touch-ups to avoid the dreaded pilling and settling that can instantly age a look. Wet n Wild's powders promise a smooth, mauve finish at a rock-bottom price, but the real cost shows up by lunchtime. These formulas rely on low-cost acrylate binders that simply can't flex with the face, so they destroy flexibility. Every smile, laugh, or frown pulls the powder apart, leaving visible fissures in the nasolabial folds and around the mouth. Instead of moving with your skin, the makeup cracks, settling deeper into lines with every expression. By midday, what started as a soft blur can split into patchy islands, making wrinkles look sharper and more pronounced. The problem isn't just dryness, it is mechanical failure. When a powder can't stretch, it breaks, and those tiny fractures catch the light, highlighting every crease. For mature skin that needs flexibility, this kind of formula is a fast track to looking older. Wet n Wild's price tag is tempting, but the trade-off is makeup that ages your face every time you move. For anyone who wants their skin to look smooth and lively, inflexible powders like these are better left on the shelf. NYX built its reputation on high pigment, professional-style makeup meant for bold looks and fast application. For mature skin, that design philosophy creates a daily struggle. Many of NYX's most popular foundations and concealers use isododecane and strong film formers to lock in color and dry down in less than 30 seconds. That quick set might sound convenient, but it leaves almost no time to blend, especially on cheeks with texture or on eyelids that have started to crease. Instead of gliding, these creams and liquids often drag across drier skin, catching on fine lines and settling into every fold before you can smooth them out. Hooded lids and crow's feet become problem zones, with heavy pigment pooling and creasing as soon as you blink. The same goes for cream blush and contour sticks. They are designed for sharp Instagram-ready looks, but in real life they can streak and patch on mature faces. NYX's obsession with strong, visible color and fast-set technology works for festival makeup and graphic trends, but for everyday wear on aging skin, it is a mismatch. What is meant to be high-performance artistry ends up highlighting every bit of texture and movement, making makeup look obvious rather than effortless. CoverGirl's reputation for clean, approachable drugstore makeup hides a major problem for anyone over 40. Powder-first, ultra-matte formulas that turn every pore into a spotlight. The classic clean matte and similar powders use talc as their main ingredient, designed to soak up oil and leave a shine-free finish. On oily, teenage skin, that can work. On mature faces, the effect is harsh and unforgiving. Instead of softening lines, these powders settle onto every bump and groove, catching on peach fuzz and magnifying texture under bright light. Macro photography reveals how the powder clings to pores, making them look twice as deep and wide. Blushes and bronzers from the same line often go on chalky and refuse to blend seamlessly. The result is patchy color that sits on top of the skin rather than melting in. For anyone hoping to blur fine lines or achieve a natural glow, this level of mattifying is the enemy. The more powder you use to chase shine, the more every detail of texture becomes visible, leaving skin looking older, not smoother. Rimmel's foundations and powders promise long wear and easy matching, but the reality for mature skin is far less forgiving. The brand's shade range, while improved in recent years, still leaves many undertones out, especially olive, golden, and deeper tones that need more nuance. For women whose skin tone has shifted with age, sun exposure, or hormonal changes, this lack of precision turns foundation matching into a gamble. The result? Shades that look balanced in the bottle can turn ashy, gray, or even muddy once applied, especially on warm or olive complexions. Over the course of a day, some mature users report subtle darkening or a dull, mask-like finish, which can be mistaken for oxidation. Color scientists use a metric called delta E to measure visible color change. There is no published lab data for Rimmel, but experts agree that even a small shift, just enough to be noticed, can age the face by making it look flat or lifeless. Heavy, long wear textures only amplify this effect, sitting on top of fine lines and dry patches instead of blending in. For mature skin that needs a forgiving, flexible match, Rimmel's limited undertone options and tendency toward visible color shift can add years instead of subtracting them. Revlon's classic foundations and lipsticks are built on a foundation of microcrystalline waxes and dense pigments, a formula that once promised bulletproof wear. On mature skin, that same wax load creates a rigid mask that refuses to flex with natural movement. Crow's feet and smile lines become pressure points where the foundation cracks, especially after a few hours of talking or laughing. Instead of adapting to changing expressions, the base holds its shape, forcing the skin to crease beneath it. The effect is most obvious around the mouth and eyes, where fine lines deepen as the product stiffens. Lipsticks from Revlon's famous super lustrous and color stay ranges offer rich color, but their high wax, creamy texture is a double-edged sword. Without a liner, pigment migrates into vertical lip lines, feathering out and blurring the edges of the mouth. This bleeding is a common frustration for anyone with thinning lips or loss of definition, a natural part of aging. While these formulas were engineered for all-day color in the 1990s, they have not kept pace with today's flexible polymers and humectant-rich bases that move with the face. For mature complexions, Revlon's old-school approach means coverage that looks solid at first, but quickly turns stiff and aging, drawing attention to every crease and line rather than smoothing them away. L'Oréal Paris foundations often promise a luxurious experience, but for mature skin, the reality is far less forgiving. Many of their best-selling bases, like infallible 24-hour fresh wear and age perfect, list fragrance high in the ingredient list, sometimes before skin conditioners or even pigments. That hit of fragrance is not just about scent. It is a common trigger for irritation, especially on skin that is already thinner and more sensitive with age. Dermatologists warn that fragrance is one of the top causes of cosmetic contact dermatitis, and in mature faces, even mild irritation can translate into redness, roughness, and a dull, tired look. But it is not just the scent that creates problems. L'Oreal's quick-dry polymer technology means these formulas start setting in under 45 seconds. That is barely enough time to blend, especially over texture or deeper lines. If you do not move fast, foundation can pool in forehead creases and around the mouth, locking patchy coverage in place before you can smooth it out. The result is a double hit: irritation from fragrance, plus a finish that traps every bit of texture. For mature women, that means foundation that looks flawless for a moment, then quickly settles into every line and crease, amplifying the signs of aging instead of disguising them. That fast-set, fragrance-rich approach might work for high-speed photo shoots, but in real life, it leaves mature skin looking older and more uneven by midday. Maybelline's Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless Foundation is a staple in drugstores and makeup drawers across the country, but for mature skin, it can be a recipe for frustration. The formula often lists denatured alcohol among its top 5 ingredients, a choice that speeds up dry down and gives that coveted me finish. For younger, oil-rich skin, this can mean shine control all day. For drier, thinner complexions, the effect is immediate: tightness, dryness, and pigment clinging to every fine line and patch. High pigment loads promise coverage, but on mature faces, they settle into smile lines and around the eyes in less than an hour. Makeup artists and mature beauty reviewers have documented how a shade that matches perfectly at application can turn noticeably warmer or even orange by lunchtime, a classic case of oxidation. Color scientists describe visible color change as delta E, and even a small shift is enough to make foundation look off against the neck and jaw. What starts as a smooth base quickly becomes a mask that exaggerates pores and creases. For anyone with dry, textured, or aging skin, this combination of drying alcohol and high pigment is a double hit, turning a trusted drugstore purchase into the fastest way to look older than you feel. Physicians' Formula stands out for mature skin because it does what so many drugstore brands do not. It puts comfort and forgiveness first. The Butter Bronzer and its sister powders use a blend of murumuru and kupuaku butters, both rich in emollients that melt into skin instead of sitting on top. These butters create a creamy, almost cushiony texture that glides over fine lines and pores, diffusing light and softening the look of texture without a hint of chalkiness. For anyone tired of powders that cling to dry patches or magnify every little imperfection, this formula is a relief. Many of their complexion products are fragrance-free or low in scent, making them a safer bet for sensitive faces. Dermatologist-tested and often labeled hypoallergenic, Physicians' Formula is built for skin that reacts to almost everything else. The Butter collection, in particular, gets high marks from mature beauty reviewers for its blendability and the way it blurs rather than highlights texture. Instead of a mask, you get a soft focus veil that moves with your expressions. For anyone who has struggled with powders that crack, cake, or spotlight every pore, this is a forgiving starting point and a reminder that drugstore makeup can actually work with your skin, not against it. Burt's Bees stands out in the drugstore aisle for one simple reason. The formulas are built to nourish, not strip. Instead of relying on drying alcohols or heavy powders, their complexion and lip products start with plant oils, beeswax, and gentle emollients like glycerin and jojoba oil. These ingredients do not just sit on the surface, they soak in, creating a cushiony, flexible layer that moves with every smile and frown. In consumer comfort surveys, users reported up to 8 hours of supple wear with far less tightness or discomfort than they felt from matte, oil-absorbing competitors. The finish is light and creamy, designed to mimic the natural glow of healthy skin instead of masking it. Minimal fragrance means less risk of irritation, especially for faces that have become more sensitive with age. The color range is not as wide as some brands, but what is there is forgiving. Sheer, blendable, and easy to build without fear of caking or patchiness. For mature women who want makeup that hydrates and flatters, not just covers, Burt's Bees offers a rare kind of comfort. Coverage that feels like skincare, and a finish that lets real skin shine through. Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Hydrating tint stands out as the most mature skin-friendly option on the drugstore shelf. The formula is built around purified hyaluronic acid, a powerful water-binding ingredient that draws moisture into the top layers of the skin. Instead of masking with heavy pigment or clinging to dry patches, this tint delivers sheer, buildable coverage that moves with every smile and expression. The texture feels more like a lightweight moisturizer than traditional foundation. No chalkiness, no tightness, and no powdery residue settling into lines. Consumer reviews consistently mention that it stays comfortable and fresh-looking through a full workday, without turning orange or muddy as the hours pass. The fragrance-free label means less risk of irritation for sensitive or thinning skin, a relief for anyone who has struggled with redness or stinging from perfumed bases. Unlike quick-dry matties, Hydro Boost remains flexible and forgiving, resisting creasing even around the eyes and mouth. For mature women who want skin to look hydrated, smooth, and truly natural, Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint is the safest bet in the drugstore aisle. Across all these brands, one truth stands out. Most drugstore makeup still caters to youthful trends, not the real needs of mature skin. The pattern is not just about ingredients, it is about an industry slow to adapt as women's skin changes. For millions, the wrong formula means looking older, not better. Choosing wisely is not vanity, it is self-care that restores confidence. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more expert rankings.